What kind of a country can't even celebrate its birthday without a mass shooting? In the United States, that is no longer an academic question. July the 4th here was supposed to be a celebration of America's founding 246 years ago. The flag was flying across the country as people participated in annual patriotic rituals to commemorate the big day. But amid the celebrations, in the states of Illinois and Pennsylvania, there was yet more violence. Two shootings took place in the US on Monday, one of them deadly. 6 people were killed and more than 25 wounded after a 22-year-old allegedly fired on a parade in Highland Park, an affluent suburb of Chicago.
The 4th of July comes at a critical moment. Our economy is growing, but not without pain. Liberty is under assault both here and abroad. In recent days, there's been reason to think that this country is moving backward, that freedom is being reduced, that rights we assumed were protected are no longer. A reminder that we remain in an ongoing battle for the soul of America, as we have for over 200 years.
Celebrations in Highland Park turned to tragedy when the shooter used a high-powered rifle from a rooftop overlooking the July 4th parade. In addition to the 6 dead, 25 people were hospitalized, of whom 19 have now been discharged. The suspected shooter was captured after a manhunt and a brief car chase.
The subject that we were looking for, the person of interest, Robert Cremo III, was spotted by a North Chicago unit at Buckley and 41, his vehicle, the vehicle that we were looking for. He attempted to initiate a traffic stop on that subject. That subject did flee. A brief pursuit went on. Ultimately, they were able to get the subject stopped at Wesley and 41 in Lake Forest. The subject was taken into custody without incident.
Adding to the Independence Day chaos, 2 police officers were shot during celebrations in Philadelphia. Both were on duty at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway when shots were fired during the city's fireworks display, but neither officer heard the gunshots before they were hit. Crowds fled the area. Police say there have been no arrests so far, but investigations are continuing.
Shortly after 9:47 p.m. in the 2500 block of Spring Garden, 2 officers were shot. The first officer was a PPD highway patrol officer who suffered a graze wound to his forehead, and the second officer is an officer assigned to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, assigned to the Bomb Squad Task Force, who works here with us in PPD.
Only last week, President Biden signed the first significant federal law on gun safety in decades, but it includes only a very limited package of measures agreed by Republicans and Democrats in Congress last month. And speaking at a July 4th celebration at the White House, the president made only an oblique reference to the tragedy that had taken place in Chicago.
Before I left for Europe, I signed a law, the first real gun safety law in 30 years. And things will get better still, but not without more hard work together. You all heard what happened. You all heard what happened today. But each day we're reminded there's nothing guaranteed about our democracy, nothing guaranteed about our way of life. We have to fight for it, defend it, and earn it by voting.
The Gun Violence Archive, which tallies the numbers, says the country is on pace to surpass its worst year for the number of mass shootings on record. America has witnessed more than 300 in less than 6 months. That's more shootings than individual days that have passed so far this year. At least 1,300 people have been shot in America in 2022 so far, and nearly 300 killed. For more, we are joined once again by our correspondent Susan Tehrani, Teranani, live for us in New York today. So, Susan, let me ask you, what kind of a country can't even celebrate its birthday without a mass shooting?
You know, mass shooting, high crime. Unfortunately, crime has been so rampant across America that it doesn't know a single holiday or even an ordinary day. The Justice Department recently announced that it has to get prepared for a summer of high crime. Now, what that preparation entails, it's yet to be seen. And what's very disturbing also is that in the weeks before this mass shooting and during the July 4th holiday weekend, in the parade at this suburb in Chicago, law enforcement and federal law enforcement officials in the Department of Homeland Security, you may remember, they issued an alert of, quote, heightened threat environment fueled in part by what they said domestic extremists and social upheaval, which has prompted many to wonder whether or not, you know, this was pre-planned. I mean, we can talk later about how there were multiple red flags regarding this individual, but you know, this is something that, you know, incidents that unfortunately may be happening more and more during the summer months ahead as well. But it's not, you know, just a mass shooting issue, it's a high crime issue as well. And once again, you know, America has a mental health problem that it has to address in line with this issue as well.
But Susan, just to be absolutely clear, there is no evidence yet, and admittedly the investigations are in an early stage, but there is no evidence yet to suggest that either the incident in Highland Park in Chicago or the incident in Philadelphia on Monday night would in any way necessarily have been halted by the new laws that President Biden has just signed.
Right. It's an extremely important point because in the case of both, and I just want to note about Illinois. Illinois has already one of the strictest gun laws in the country, the 6th strictest in the country, and you know, from red flag laws to background checks to a ban on assault weapons in many ways. And so, you know, the question right now remains that, one, a lot of the measures that President Biden passes are very limited on a federal level. But on the second, the question is, once these laws are passed, how are they being implemented? While the individual in Philadelphia is still on the loose, but the individual that we saw in Illinois, you know, how did he get past those red flag laws, considering the fact that he was uploading disturbing videos for the past 10 years, and one of them specifically was, you know, indicating that he was going to, you know, he had plans basically to conduct a mass shooting, and there was an American flag in that video, and, you know, it was online for everyone to see. His father was running for the mayor of Highland Park at one point. The mayor herself knew this person. So, you know, he wasn't unknown. He has an IMDb page. So, you know, these questions all remain on passing the law and then implementing them as well. And why is it that Illinois has such strict gun laws and still, you know, something like this happens?
Yeah, and massive questions for social media companies. I mean, you could watch some of those videos on their platforms even as late as last night here before they were finally pulled down. Susan Teranani, WION's correspondent in New York City, thanks very much indeed for joining us today.